Hello guys, and welcome to another quick tutorial from Vintage Radar. Today I'm going to show you how to use the chronograph function on your Timex Marlin Chronograph. Today we have the green dial. You have a bunch of other variants out there. This tutorial is going to work for a lot of other chronographs out there, and at the end I'm also going to show you how to use the tachymeter. So as you can see, we have an outer ring and we have some numbers that start from 500 and go up to 60. So they actually decrease from 500 up to 60. So as you can see, we have three sub dials. The one at 6 o'clock is going to be the one for the seconds hand of the watch. As you can see, it is ticking and the chronograph is not working. And then we have two other sub dials. The one on the right on this particular model is going to be for the 24-hour display. So if I pull the crown to the last position and start to adjust the time, you can actually see that this sub dial is moving as well. So that is going to show me military time, so whether I am AM or PM. As you can see, I am now at 9 AM, so 9 in the morning. So if I go past 12 o'clock, you can see that the date will not change because just now we are PM. So now it is going to be, let's say 9 PM. Let's do it 9 PM. So as you can see, now we are very close to changing the date. So if I go past 12 o'clock, it is going to change the date. So we know that these two do not belong to the chronograph. So once again, this is the seconds hand. It has stopped now because this movement has a hacking. So when I pull the crown to the last position to set the time, the seconds hand is going to stop. Going to push it back in and you will see that it is going to start ticking again. Then we have the third sub dial here, which is going to be for the minutes, and the big seconds hand of the watch is going to be the actual seconds hand of the chronograph. As you can see, we have two pushers, and this is going to apply to most chronograph watches. So if I press the top pusher, the seconds hand is going to start. If I press it again, it is going to stop. So now I can read the chronograph. I have 5 seconds. Then I can continue, stop. And if I press the button pusher, it is going to reset to 12 o'clock, as you can see. And if I press and I leave it for, let's say, a minute, I will also be able to read here 1 minute. So I will leave it for 1 minute and show you that this subdial has moved a little. So guys, we have passed 1 minute, and as you can see, the subdial has already moved a little. Now there are going to be particular models, so quartz models just like this one, where you do not have this sweeping hand, you actually have a tick, and this subdial for the minute for the minutes is also going to do a tick after the 60 seconds. But on this one, the subdial for the minutes is going to move very smoothly, just like the seconds. Now if I pause, as you can see, we are almost at 2 minutes. I can leave it. I'm going to go past 2 minutes, and then we can actually read the chronograph. So as you can see, I have, let's say, 2 minutes and 5 seconds when I'm going to pause it, just like this. And now if I press the button pusher, they are both going to jump to 12 o'clock, just like that. So I have shown you how to activate, how to stop, how to reset the chronograph, and also how to read it. Now we are going to understand what these numbers represent. As you can see here at 11 o'clock, we have tachymeter written. It is very hard to focus since this is a domed watch crystal, and also the dial is a little bit domed. Now when it comes to the tachymeter, we need to have a fixed distance of 1 kilometer or 1 mile. It is very important to have a fixed distance of either 1 kilometer or 1 mile for this example. And let's say that the runner, so you or the runner that you are timing, is going to start the race. When the person, the racer, or even the car starts the race, you are going to press the top pusher. when they are going to go past the 1 kilometer mark or the 1 mile mark, you are going to pause it, and you'll be able to see the speed that they had, so the average speed that the runner or the car had to have in order to go 1 mile or 1 kilometer in, as you can see, 12 seconds. So if a car goes 1 kilometer in 12 seconds, it would have to have a speed of 300 kilometers per hour. Or if we have the mile, if one car goes 1 mile in 12 seconds, it would have to have the speed of 300 miles per hour. This is going to refer to the average speed, because if they accelerate and decelerate, we can actually only see the average speed. If they go in a straight line with a fixed speed, you would know that their speed was constantly 300 kilometers or miles per hour. If I were to leave it even longer, let's say up to 15 seconds, this means that the car had a speed of 240 kilometers or miles per hour. Now I'm going to leave it a little bit longer so that we arrive at 60 seconds, because that is where it is going to be the easiest to understand. As you can see here, we have 120. So let's say that our car did the distance of 1 kilometer in 30 seconds. We could read that and translate it to 120 kilometers per hour. As you can see here at 12 o'clock, we have the 60 written. So this means that if a car goes 1 kilometer in 60 seconds, it would have to have a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. And that is really simple to understand. We have 60 kilometers. I did 1 kilometer in 1 minute. So if you multiply it by 60, that means that I have an average speed, or the speed, of 60 kilometers per hour. So that is how you can actually use the tachymeter on these chronograph watches. They were actually used when it comes to racing in the 50s, 60s and so on, until digital or electronic chronographs actually outperformed quartz chronograph watches. Pilots used these, and also even people that went to space, they actually used the Omega Speedmaster in order to calculate the speed that they would have to have when they entered the atmosphere, and that is why they actually received the Snoopy award. That is something really cool. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below to that particular article in case you are interested. So guys, that is how you use the chronograph function on your Timex Marlin Chronograph. There are going to be some other chronograph watches out there, for example this Moonswatch, where we also have a sub-dial for the seconds hand. So if I start and then pause, you'll be able to read 2 seconds and then 8/10 of a second, and then here we would have the minutes. Now I'm going to reset by pressing the button pusher, and they are going to align to 12 o'clock. I also have a full guide with how to replace the watch battery and how to replace the strap, either with a leather strap that doesn't have the quick release system or a NATO strap. Link in the description box below. So guys, in case you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this YouTube channel, it really means a lot. If you want to purchase your first vintage watch, make sure to go to vintageradar.com, because we have thousands of vintage watches for sale. Link in the description box below. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one.